Starting off with number 10, we have Revocation's absolutely monstrous opener off of their 2009 album, Existence is Futile. We start off this list here with the epic Enter the Hall. Now, I'm not sure if any opening instrumental sets you up better for what you're about to hear later on in the album better than Enter the Hall. Starting off with these absolutely delicious evil chord arpeggios before descending into that oh so addicting breakdown section with that lead being played over top of it, it's just, so good. This was actually the first Revocation song that I ever heard. They somehow managed to target me with a Facebook ad campaign in like 2010. So if anyone was wondering if those campaigns actually do work, they do. Anyways, as soon as I heard that part, I was hooked and listened to the rest of the album right away. After that, it then goes into what Existence is Futile will punish your ears with brutally fast riffs, great drumming, and thick and heavy production with a ton of bass in it, which I absolutely love. All complete with some of that fantastic Dave Davidson lead playing that the album is absolutely filled to the brim with. It also leads us directly into the next song, Pestilence Reigns, which I always give bonus points for, right? Leading directly into another song, always good. Fantastic opener and one of the all-time great instrumental intros in my opinion. So, well, hello my friends, we meet again. It's been a while. Where should we begin? Time for another patented Varvis creative list slop video for you to shoot that sweet, sweet dopamine into your veins while you work or eat dinner or just brain rot away. Today, we are taking a look at instrumental songs from non-instrumental bands. That is, when a band, normally has a singer, normally has vocals, and they decide to make a song which is purely instrumental. I'm not talking about bands, Animals as Leaders, that's all, instrumentals. No, we're talking about bands that are normally have singing, but don't have singing on these particular songs. So it's interesting how bands approach this. Some like Revocation use these instrumentals as intros or segues into another song. Other bands sort of see this as making a statement with an instrumental, right? Using it as a chance to have the song really stand out in the band's catalog, right? If everything has vocals but one song doesn't, that sort of stands out automatically. And this next song here is definitely one of those. And while I was arguing with myself whether or not you could actually consider this next song an instrumental, it just rips so hard, and you know what? It's my list, my channel, so it counts. Yes, this next song here is Ashes of the Wake by Lamb of God at number 9. Now Varvis, you screech while furiously commenting that there is vocals on this. And to you I say nay! To me, the voice that is featured here on Ashes of the Wake is more like a sample. And I am pretty sure it actually is a sample of an American Soldier, right? So to me, this counts as an instrumental. Now, Ashes of the Wake really makes a grand statement, and really for a song that was released all the way back in 2004, the interview and the clips that they chose to include here in the song really seem to have only gotten more relevant as time goes on.
We killed a lot of innocent civilians. To us, every civilian in Baghdad.
Now, of course, besides the political statement here, the song just gives us some of my favorite Lamb of God riffs ever, including this one. There's just something about Ashes of the Wake here that just feels so intensely dark and aggressive, almost like it's telling the story of a nighttime raid on some village, or like an airstrike on a cave position or something. It is really just quite dark and absolutely punishing. Unrelenting with the riffs, the nearly 6 minutes fly by with the fantastic guitar work, and of course, Chris Adler's world-class drumming here.
I honestly feel that we're committing genocide over here. I don't believe in killing civilians, and I'm not going to kill civilians.
Terrific song that really stands out for the band because of the lack of vocals on it, right? Normally Randy Blythe is all over their songs, but Ashes of the Wake here, you just have those vocal samples. Absolutely love it. But now how about an instrumental which became one of a band's most famous and popular songs? That's right, we have Dawkins' Shredtastic Mr. Scary here at number 8. Looking at the streams for this album, Mr. Scary clears basically all the other songs here except for Dream Warriors. And the only reason for that really is that that song has a music video and was featured in a very popular movie. Whereas Mr. Scary had none of that and is still one of Dawkins' most popular songs. A real testament to the quality of it here. Now, to me, I'm not like the biggest fan of entirely shred-based metal, but Mr. Scary here is probably one of the best examples out there of it. The opening riff combined with that dotted 8th note delay really makes it stand out like right away. Like you hear it and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And that main motif that repeats several times is just very, very tasty and just screams to me, Mr. Scary, you know what I mean? Like it just sounds like that. This song is really structured more like a regular song, but instead of singing, we get George Lynch going absolutely buck wild here. Which is nice as it sort of structures the song in a very pleasing and exciting way with just enough twists and changes to keep it entertaining and interesting throughout. Great stuff here by Dokken, even in a genre where I really don't care very much for the instrumentals behind the music. This is more like vocal driven music. I really love the song. Yeah, great stuff. Number 8. Now, at number 7 here, we go all the way to Japan, to one of the best power metal bands around. This time we have Galnerius' excellent Emotions from their 2010 album, Resurrection. This song is just a great reminder of the power of a fantastic melody. That opening melody you heard just now gets repeated and used several times throughout the song, but is slightly changed or played on a keyboard or harmonized or even played with a different chord progression underneath it. You name it, they consistently change it up, and it's very, very satisfying the way they do it on this song. This creates a very compelling and interesting instrumental song, which finds us returning home, so to speak, after several detours. This, of course, is all a showcase for the virtuosity of Sue, the extremely charismatic and bombastic lead guitar player for the band. He gives us several extremely impressive solos, but never dives into the territory of overindulgence, which I find he can on some of the other Galnerius stuff. But I also have this complaint with a lot of other instrumental music, right? This song, however, remains just on the precipice of tasteful. It's great. Also, the keyboard playing here is just absolutely based. It's just a really, really solid and well-written instrumental track, which sounds like they gave it a lot of thought while writing it, and didn't just toss up some sort of riff salad for us here. Great stuff. Now, if you are enjoying this list so far, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out more than you think, and also tells the algorithm to recommend you more stuff like this from some of the other metal YouTubers out here, right? It's just a win-win. Also, I just want to take a moment to thank my Patreon and YouTube members. You guys are based as f***. And if you guys want to support the channel, consider signing up. Cheers, you guys. Let's get back to the list. All right, on to the top 5 here. And at number 5, we have an instrumental that shows off this band's absolutely world-class riffage, and that is In Flames' Man-Made God off their 1999 album, Colony. Now, In Flames is a ton of very beautiful instrumental songs, so choosing this one over the others was rather difficult. But really, the reason why I chose this over Horacle or The Jester's Dance, let's say, is to me that this sounds just like an In Flames song with no vocals. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the vocals of Anders Frieden, and often I find that if a band releases a song that is just, a normal song without vocals, it kind of sounds kind of lazy and maybe unfinished. But I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here, guys. In old pre-Clayman In Flames, the riffs were the real stars of the show here, and Man-Made God really lets these riffs have the entire spotlight. The production is loud and in your face, but still retains a little bit of that delicious Swedish death metal sound to it. Oh, it's just great. I especially love the part halfway through where they replay the same riff and lead from earlier, but in a different higher key. It's just oh so sweet to my ears. Key changes are something that I think metal needs to bring back more often. I just love it. In addition, similar to the Galnerius song, they do a really great job here of reusing and repurposing the same melodies and motifs in creative and interesting ways. Just a very intensely enjoyable instrumental, which puts the highlight on what makes Old Flame so special, the amazing riffs and lead melodies. Fantastic stuff, I love it. At number 4, we have another band in which I was torn which instrumental to pick here, but I decided upon the opener to their 2011 magnum opus, Digital Veil, and that is the Human Abstract and the song Elegiac. And I mean, I'm gonna take any excuse to talk about this band. Quite possibly my favorite metalcore album of all time. This thing is just packed full of great vocals, excellent songwriting, and some incredibly based and tasteful neoclassical influence. Please go check this album out. Of any on this list, check this one out. But starting off the album here is the mystical and beautiful instrumental intro to all of it, Elegiac. Elegiac meaning wistfully mournful, and honestly, I don't think you could have picked a better title for this song. Very short, at just over 2 minutes, it really showcases the amazing guitar work of AJ Minette, who plays this song just absolutely beautifully, starting off with a classical guitar before exploding into their signature neoclassical metalcore sound. Gorgeous harmonies and grooves abound while the main melody reaches out and reaches such elegant and brilliant highs here, which is all just harmonized so perfectly and wonderfully. So many things going on here, all before returning down to earth, ending again with that classical guitar but played even more mournfully. Before leading us right into the first song of the album, Complex Terms. Utterly fantastic. The most perfect instrumental intro one could ask for. I absolutely love this band, love this song, love this whole album. Fantastic stuff, man. Now, at number 3, we have what may be the most catchy instrumental here on this list, and that is Wretched's Exodus of Autonomy. This song is just instrumental perfection. Repeating motifs, twists and turns, incredible dynamics, incredibly catchy riffs and leads, and just masterful use of musical motifs with so many different sounds and sections, but it all just seems very cohesive. Just fantastic work. Wretched is a band which has many incredible instrumentals as well, which is exemplified by 4 of their top 5 songs on Spotify being instrumentals, but you know, it was just another really hard choice on which one to pick here. But the Exodus of Autonomy really just scratches my brain in the perfect way. Like I said, there are so many fantastic twists and turns along the whole way here. It's just fantastic, but it never verges into being riff salad. Everything is sort of anchored on the main opening guitar riff that we hear. I particularly like the very Spanish feeling section that starts around 2 minutes and 20 seconds. It sounds just so warm with the bass guitar, shakers, and what sounds to be some sort of bongos or maybe some other percussion. This new sound and style is then combined with a much less distorted version of the main riff that we hear all throughout the song here. And then how warm that part is then directly contrasted by the cold and desolate blast beat section with follows. Just a great juxtaposition of sounds here. And I mean, I could go on and on about this song, but another highlight for me is when the main riff motif is repurposed into a lead pattern at around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Like, that is just so tastefully done, and of course this isn't even mentioning the later half of the song, which sees the band expand upon this idea into a more epic and triumphant and bittersweet song. Seriously, man, I mean, just go listen to this. It is just so fantastically enjoyable instrumental metal that is written just so well. And honestly, I could see this song being number 1 on this list if it wasn't for the context surrounding the next 2 songs. Now, before we get to the top 2 songs here, let me just list some honorable mentions. We have Dialectic Chaos by Megadeth, Shout Out to NHL 11, Black Star by our boy Yngwie, Martyrs by Veil of Maya. This probably would have been on the list if it was a little bit longer, and Citadel by Angel Maker, which is a very gorgeous song song in the midst of the darkness that album brings. Great stuff, love all these tracks, but it's finally time for number 2 here on this list, and that is the almighty To Live Is To Die by Metallica. Now, similar to how I gave Ashes of the Wake a pass for having vocals in it, I'm also giving this one a pass too, as technically there are lyrics here, but it's spoken word poetry, not really the typical singing as we would expect from Metallica. So to me, this counts. You can debate this all you want down in the comments.
When a man lies, he murders some part of the world. These are the pale deaths.
One thing that I noticed here is that spoken word section kind of a little bit sounds a lot like what would happen later on in Lulu, but this is just one small part, not an hour and 30 minutes of it, so it's totally enjoyable, you know what I mean? Now this song gets its spot, not only because of how melancholic, beautiful, and then punishingly cold and beautiful it is, but also for the context around it. The only song from And Justice which has any writing credits from their late bassist Cliff Burton, who also wrote the short poem that we hear, just makes the song incredibly somber and a beautiful tribute to him, right? And to me, this song is just so hauntingly beautiful. James Hetfield really writes and plays some of the most beautiful, clean guitar parts in metal. And my favorite part here of the entire song is right around 5 minutes, when everything drops out suddenly, and you hear that absolutely haunting melody. It's just like so somber and small, reflecting the fragility of life in this cruel world. Man, chills every time I hear it. The whole song here is really just a bunch of young men expressing their love and grief for their lost brother, from how the opening dreamlike guitar melody and drums is then violently woken up to a very nasty and angry riff, no doubt influenced by the bus crash which happened in the middle of the night. It's another song which I could go on and on and on about, but you really just need to go listen for yourself, man. To me, this instrumental blows all the other Metallica instrumentals completely out of the water. To Live Is To Die, number 2. Love this song so much. And for number 1, we have, drumroll please, Voice of the Soul by Death. A Varvis video putting Death at number 1. It can't be, bro! Well, it is, bro. Putting it at number 1, and I'm sorry, but no clips of the song here, as Voice of the Soul gets the video blocked right away. What can you do? But I mean, just go listen to the song and come back if you haven't heard it. You know, this song packs pretty much all of what I thought makes the other songs on this list great into an extremely succinct and concise 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And to make this brief, it features repeating motifs and melodies which get reused later on in a creative way. It serves as a nice break in the album, a nice breather, you could say, in between two of the absolutely ripping and intense songs of Flesh and the Power It Holds and To Forgive Is To Suffer. It features virtuosic playing, complete with expertly crafted melodies, harmonies, and a really just incredible use of counterpoint, all of which is extremely tasteful and never becomes overindulgent. It features various twists and turns, which keep it entirely interesting and novel, and all the melodies and guitar riffs are extremely catchy and memorable and get stuck in your head over and over and over again. It's just so geniusly written. It also acts as a fantastic intro to the next song, To Forgive Is To Suffer, something which I will get into in another future video. But in addition to all of that, it has that tragic context that To Live Is To Die also sort of shares. Released just 3 short years before Chuck was tragically taken by cancer, it takes on this extremely poignant aura about it. What is the voice of a soul, and what was he trying to say with this song? In essence, we have Chuck's musical soul and voice captured in one perfectly written instrumental song. This is his soul's voice coming out, right? All these different emotions are packed into this short song so expertly. I really have a hard time struggling to believe it's less than 4 minutes long, which to me, how concise it is really adds to the addictive nature of it and really just takes it over the top to being just a different level of instrumental, right? Everyone takes something different from the song, and this is a true hallmark of something extraordinarily special. So, Voice of a Soul, number 1. What did you think of this list? Be sure to leave your picks down below, boys.